You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt. I want to talk about this vibe with Hope Logan and Finn that everybody is talking about after Friday's show. And the big question I want to talk about is whether Hope is going to start lusting after Finn now. And if so, is there some sort of larger storyline afoot for her? So I just had to make a quick video on this after watching today's episode. Frankly, I'm very disturbed about what is going on between Hope Logan's two ears. Is she now going to get the hots for Finn? Is this a sign of something more worrisome going on with her? Let's discuss. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates, spoilers, and news. So remember, months before Hope swept Thomas up in that passionate kiss in Rome, she was fantasizing about him. She was getting these vivid mental images / fantasies of him while she was at work, while she was at home, even while she was doing the deed with her husband, Liam Spencer. So me personally, I thought the whole thing with Liam being a supreme waffler was what was undermining her marriage and triggering her attraction to Thomas. At the same time, of course, we all knew that Thomas worshiped the ground that Hope walks on, and he still does. So it feels kind of like Hope might be using him as a safety net for her fragile ego. She keeps telling him she doesn't love him, that she may never love him, and it's basically a physical thing. But with this recent thing with Finn, I have to now wonder if it's beyond the physical and if there's something mental going on. Stick with me on this. So maybe the other day when Hope told Taylor that she might be turning into her mother, it was less of a sarcastic remark and maybe foreshadowing something ahead for Hope. And the writers had that remark in there very intentionally. Are they about to really make Hope more like her mom, chasing more zippers than a dog chases cars? So what made me want to talk to you guys about this was Hope's little daydream at the very end of Friday's cliffhanger episode. Not at the very end, but the scene right before the end. And it could be that she was just thinking about what Finn was saying, that Thomas isn't the guy for her and she'll find the guy. Or maybe Hope was thinking about the hug and how it felt to be in Finn's arms talking about someone who loves only one woman. I mean, it's hard to say for certain after just that one scene, but it's enough to have me kind of scratching my head. Hope thinking about that scene with Finn reminds me of when she first started having those little scenes and thoughts and fantasies about Thomas, like while he was making little design adjustments to a dress that she had on, and he would just be touching the fabric and she was just thinking about things. So, you know, of course, at the time, it was all innocent on Thomas's part, but Hope was thinking lusty things. Is that what is happening now with Finn? And if it is, that has me then wondering if there's something else entirely going on with Hope. Just to be clear, I'm not slut shaming. I'm not saying that her taking up with Thomas and then wanting another man makes her a skank or something. I'm not saying that, but it's certainly sketchy for her to cheat on her husband, not fight for her marriage. She didn't really, she did not really fight hard for her marriage. And then she hopped into bed with Thomas the same day that Liam said he didn't want to work on their marriage. That's kind of breakneck speed to do things. That's not even a rebound. That's a ricochet. That's a ricochet, y'all. Since then, Hope has been gung-ho to ride Thomas's joystick every chance she gets. Just the other day, and I found this pretty funny, she complained to Ridge because Taylor walked in and, quote, interrupted them, as if the design office is primarily there to be her sex den and visitors should knock and not walk in. Ridge was kind of taken aback by Hope's blasé attitude towards midday workplace nookie. And now we have Hope thinking twice about being in Finn's arm. If in fact that was what she was thinking about, maybe she was thinking about what he said. We don't know. She was definitely thinking about that encounter, but we don't know if she was thinking about what he said or thinking about his arms around her. So is Hope just indulging her inner bad girl who wants to bang more men now that her marriage is over? I think this is a relevant question. Or is there some underlying issue that we need to worry about? Is this more than just wild oat sowing? So because I'm a research girl, I went and looked at mental illness and promiscuity because I already had an inkling about it based on a good friend of mine who was an inpatient for a while due to manic depression and some other things, and just some things she told me that went on at the mental health facility she was, and just the kind of the problem almost that the orderlies had with trying to keep people apart from each other that were dealing with all of this, and that there was just a whole lot of promiscuity going on. So yes, it is a thing. The psychological term is hypersexuality. That means a whole bunch of sexuality. And with bipolar disorder, it can be part of a manic episode. In other cases, borderline personality disorder can have promiscuous behavior as a symptom. The same goes for depression, anxiety, and other mental health and mood disorders, all according to the Mayo Clinic. Of course, I am neither a doctor nor a therapist, so please don't chew me out in the comments saying I'm not one. I'm telling you I'm not one. We all know I'm not one. I'm simply observing things I'm seeing with Hope and wondering if there's some kind of underlying storyline afoot that the writers are dropping little hints about, or if this is nothing more than her listening to him saying, Thomas isn't the guy for you. So take a look at this photo. This is like a little collage of Hope from before she was with Thomas. And then I have a picture of you to look at of like 3 of her looks afterwards. In the pre-Thomas picture, she looked like she was dipping into the Little House on the Prairie middle school good girl collection. And now in the after, she's got this dark eyeliner, kind of sleek hair, and a very sexy look. So what does all this mean, if anything? I have a couple of more things to say about it, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. Click a like if you're enjoying this conversation, even if you find it a little weird. And definitely drop your comments. What do you think that Hope was really thinking about? Was she thinking about Finn holding her, or was she thinking about what Finn was saying about Thomas? So is this simply Hope breaking out of her mother's shadow and away from the perceptions that she's perpetrated over the years that has basically become her persona as this ultimate good girl, the face of hope for the future? Is this just a natural evolution of Miss Logan getting comfortable in her own skin and as an adult grown-up sexual person? Or is this a red flag warning us of something else entirely? So I personally was hoping this whole thing with Hope was a slow burn love story for her and Thomas. But after Hope's daydream about Finn on Friday, I'm worried that it might be something else entirely. I fervently hope the writers are not going to have Hope go chasing Finn, who, by the way, is about to be her stepbrother, just because he's all alone in Malibu. And I hope she's not going to be over there trying to get into his Dr. Scrubs. She wants, a man who loves only her. That's what Finn is for Steffi, and that's what Thomas is for Hope right now. If Hope was to try and tangle with Finn, she would almost be putting herself back into the same position where she's with a man who also loves Steffi. So it's not a good idea. If Hope and Thomas don't work out, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that, and I hope a lot of you guys are. I do not want her getting back with Waffle Boy Liam and letting him back in the door to continue what he's been doing to her and to Steffi for like a decade. And I really, really don't want to see Hope chasing Steffi's husband around while her former stepsister is away. Of course, it's going to be a matter of wait and see what happens. But what did you guys think about that scene on Friday? What do you think? What part of it had Hope transfixed? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read all your comments. I love them. I appreciate you guys spending time here talking to us. Come back soon. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.